Okay, so we're now live. It just hasn't popped up yet on TikTok.
All right, guys, it's Friday.
Okay, Leah, we're live on air.
Okay, I was
Okay, I was trying to get that link.
Well, that was not spelt correctly. That's not what I want.
It's three people
It's 3 people
Where?
on face on
on
TikTok.
TikTok.
Welcome in,
Well,
everyone.
it's me, you,
Well, it's me, you,
Mine says one.
somebody else.
and somebody else.
Please tap the screen and share the live.
Mm-hmm.
Nice conversation.
Nice conversation. I'll be about Big Head, Mr. Georgie. George. Georgie.
Gregory.
George. What is it? Simpson?
Gregory Sampson.
Gregory Sampson. My bad. Look at this fuck what his name is. I mean, freak what his name is.
You have to know his name so that you can tell people that so that people can look him up if they wanted to.
Okay, Gregory Sampson.
Yeah, my thing only says one person watching, which that's me on my own YouTube channel.
Gregory Sampson. That was creepy because I
didn't say nothing in here.
It's because I hit the wrong button. Oh, it says 2 people are watching on YouTube. Welcome in. If you're on YouTube, please leave a comment and like and share the video. And then we'll get started here in 4 minutes. Welcome in, Flower Child. Hi, Buzz 1793.
Comment where you're coming from tonight. You said hi to Flower Child, did you?
I said hello.
You get it. Okay.
What are you laughing for?
Nothing because we had it in liquid.
Be professional.
I'm trying to.
If you're on TikTok, please tap the screen so we get more people in here. Trust Nothing. Welcome in on YouTube, Trust Nothing. Welcome in, No Vanty. Thank you, Buzz, for the likes. Hi,
Angie's Dryer.
Angie, Novanti, Tammy Reed. Welcome in. Please comment where you're watching from.
Yeah, the state. The state.
Yeah, the state. Trust no one. We are going to be talking about Georgia Department of Corrections, mainly Gregory Sampson, who is the warden for Dooley State Prison. We have a couple documents that we're going to read over and answer any questions that we possibly can. Tammy Reed is from Georgia. Welcome in, Tammy Reed. Yes, Dooley. No, Vanty, do you know some information about Dooley? Thank you for sharing the live, Tammy. Yes. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a like and a subscribe as well, please, and thank you. The more people we get to watch these videos that are put out on both platforms is amazing. And then more people can see what is actually going on within Georgia and any other prisons that, you know, we do. I'm from Oregon. I did time in Oregon DOC, and Leah is from Texas and lost a brother due to murder at Dooley State Prison in Georgia. No, but I know it's supposed to be. You think Dooley State Prison is sweet? Ain't no prison sweet. Sorry, child. My loved one is at Dooley. So Flower Child's loved one's at Dooley, Leah.
Okay.
I should.
Oh, they call it Sweet Dooley.
Oh, well, he said nah, but I know it's supposed to be sweet.
Yeah, because that's what they call it. Yeah, because that's what they call it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, no vanity. Vanity. My bad. I know nothing about Dooley besides what I've been told.
How long has your loved one been at Dooley, Flower Child?
So I put my email in the ticker on, if you watch the video, it's aicsAdvocate@gmail.com. If anybody has any information on Dooley or any prison, I'm more than willing to look into it. Flower Child said 6 years.
So he was in there when my brother was in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, trust nothing. Thank you for the clarification. Welcome in, Linda Meyer. So if you want to email it to me, I can look into it, or me and Leah both can look into it, and see if it's legit. Leah, mute it. Okay, Leah, go ahead. It's after 5. Go.
Oh. Hey, everybody. Well, welcome to tonight's live. And we're talking about Gregory Sampson, and he's the warden over at Dooley. This is Mr. Sampson on the screen. He's had a couple things pop up, and we just want to talk about because we don't think he's been truthful about things, and we have proof of it. So if you want to share it to your friends in Dooley, you're more than welcome.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Well, here we go. I think I found Gregory on Facebook. So Gregory posted this picture. It says, "Dear God, why do you allow so much violence in our schools? Signed, a concerned student. Dear concerned student, I'm not allowed in schools. Signed, God." So if he is a Christian and doesn't want violence in schools, why does he allow violence in the prison? Why does he do something about the violence? So,
of course, yes.
Yeah, so that's on his Facebook, and they allow God in prison. They do have religious services in the prisons. So, if God is supposed to keep violence away, then why is this man allowing it to stay in there? He can't do anything because of Dixon. What do you mean? Which one do you want?
Oh, they don't really want to go to the next slide. Okay, we can go that one. So right here is we're exposing him because this is my brother's incident report. From July 3rd, 2023 at 10:27 a.m. They basically said it was an illness. It was not videotaped, and they signed off on it a month later after that. Which my brother did not die of illness. He did get strangled, and he got beaten in the head, causing an anoxic brain injury. And family was not notified for 14 days after he was in coma. So this is one example of exposing his neglect.
Yeah, so with having that month gap between the incident report and when it was signed off on is a little weird to me. You figure they would sign off on it all at the same time, not wait time in between stuff happening. So we did a little bit of digging, just a little bit. So this was released by the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, Office of the Assistant Attorney General, on October 1st, 2024. And it's released by the governor, the Honorable Brian P. Kemp. And this has to deal with the investigation of the Georgia prisons. I'm going to try and do the audio so I don't have to read it.
The Honorable Brian P. Kemp, Governor of Georgia, Georgia State Capitol 206, Washington Street, Suite 203, State Capitol, Atlanta, Georgia 30334.
Can you hear that, Leah? Leah?
Yes, I can.
Georgia State Capitol 206, Washington Street, Suite 203, State Capitol, Atlanta, Georgia 30334. Read, CRIPA investigation of Georgia prisons. RR.
Oh, it's
Please
going
note
to
that in
be...
the event we are unable to reach a resolution regarding our concerns, CRIPA authorizes...
Nope. It wants to jump around. Can't do it. So I'll have to read it. It says, Dear Governor Kemp, the Civil Rights Division in the United States Attorney Office for the Northern, Middle, and Southern District of Georgia have conducted an investigation of Georgia's prisons under the Civil Rights of Institutionalized Persons Act. Consistent with the statutory requirements of the CRIPA 42 U.S.C. Section 1997 BA1, we write to provide this notice of alleged conditions that we have reasonable cause to believe violates the Constitution of the United States. The attached finding reports details the supporting facts giving rise to those violations and the minimum remedial measures that we believe may remedy those alleged conditions. After carefully reviewing the evidence, we concluded that there is reasonable cause to believe that the conditions in the Georgia prisons violates the 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution. These violations are pursuant to a pattern of practice of resistance to the full enjoyment of rights protected by the Constitution and the federal law. Specifically, we find that Georgia fails to protect individuals incarcerated at the medium and close security levels from violence and harm by other incarcerated persons in violation of the 8th Amendment. We also find that Georgia fails to protect incarcerated people from harm caused by sexual violence and fails to adequately protect people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex LGBTI from a substantial risk of serious harm from sexual violence and abuse by staff and other incarcerated people in violation of the 8th Amendment. The attached report details the supporting facts given rise to those violations and the minimum remedial measures that we believe may remedy those alleged conditions. We hope to resolve this matter through a cooperative approach and look forward to working with the state and GDC leadership to address the violations of law we have identified. The lawyers assigned to this investigation will conduct counsel for the state for such decision. Please note that in the event we are unable to reach a resolution regarding our concerns, CRIPA authorized the Attorney General to initiate a lawsuit 49 days after issuance of this notice letter to correct the alleged conditions we have identified. 42 U.S.C. Section 1997 BA1. Please also note that this notice letter and accompanying report are public documents. They will be posted on the Civil Rights Division website. If you have any question regarding this correspondence, please contact Reagan Rush, Acting Chief of Special Litigation Section at 202-532-5675. Sincerely, Kristen Clarkey, Assistant Attorney General at the Civil Rights Division. And then here you have all the wardens and the commissioners, all their names at each institution. If anybody wants this document, you can email me. My email is running along in the ticker at the bottom of the screen. And I will send this to you. Or you can just look up the DOJ ruling on Georgia Department of Corrections. Oh, I thought this was going to be the report. I guess not. So there's that, and then so you're very welcome. Thank you for coming in. So they want to say that there's all these things wrong within Georgia DOC, which is, the violence and the neglect and, not enough staff and all this other stuff. Well, within just looking, there's been 2 articles within the last few hours that the GDC is asking for funding to build new prisons when they can't run the ones that they got. So, which is a little dumbfounding to me to open new prisons when they can't do nothing with the ones they have. So I'll read these 2 articles and then we can have a discussion about different things within Georgia. Are you all right with that, Leah?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Atlanta AP, Governor Brian Kemp is proposing a big burst of new spending on Georgia's prisons, including planning another new correctional facility and launching an extensive renovation program. Legislators are seeking solutions to a wide range of problems plaguing prisons and have sparked a federal investigation. Among them, a sharp increase in prison deaths, high rates of employee turnover and arrests for criminal activity, and a persistent problem with contraband cell phones and drugs. Correction Commissioner Tyrone Oliver on Tuesday unveiled a plan to amend the current year's budget to spend $458 million before the end of June, and to increase spending in the year beginning July 1st by another $145 million. Public safety is a number one priority of state government, and that is why we have taken a comprehensive and deliberate approach to strengthen law enforcement and improving our correction system, Kemp said in a statement. The meeting itself was unusual, with Oliver making budget requests before lawmakers are sworn in for the new 2-year term on Monday, and before the Republican Kemp presents the rest of his budget later next week. House Appropriations Committee Chairman Matt Hatchett, a Dublin Republican, repeatedly expressed impatience, calling on Oliver to speed work and saying Kemp's decision to outline his budget now showed how seriously lawmakers are taking the problem. It is out of the ordinary, and I think it shows the emphasis that he and us collectively are putting on this issue, Hatchett said. It's part of a burst of spending on prisons across the South, and conservatives focus on securing housing prisoners and back away from the effort of releasing more of them. In Georgia, that's in part because many nonviolent offenders are no longer in prison. Oliver told lawmakers that 3/4 of the system's 50,000 inmates were convicted of violent crimes. Alabama is building a $1.1 billion, 4,000 bed prison just north of Montgomery, whose price tag has soared. Arkansas has set aside more than $400 million for a new 3,000 bed prison. Although the state hasn't given an estimate for a total cost or said when work would begin on it, and last year Louisiana embarked and at least $100 million to upgrade facilities, including space to separate 17-year-old charged as an adult from older prisoners. Georgia is already building a 3,000 bed prison near Davidsboro in Washington County. The spending plan calls for another $47 million to furnish that prison, atop the $451 million that lawmakers approved last year to build the structure, which would house offenders one to a cell. Oliver told lawmakers that the department wants another $40 million to start planning another prison, which Oliver indicated would likely have about 1,500 single-bed cells. Much of the money would be one-time expenditure made out of Georgia's billion in surplus cash, but those one-time expenditures would be stretched out over years. Some items, including hiring additional prison guards and paying them more, would become permanent part of the state budget. Oliver said prisons need 2,600 more employees to be fully staffed. He proposes hiring 882 more officers to fill part of the gap, or about 110 every 3 months, saying trying to hire 2,600 people in a physical year is just not possible. Oliver said the department has increased the number of prison guards for 3 years in a row after seeing employment numbers plummet during the pandemic, but also proposed a 4% pay raise, saying further boosts in salary are needed. one big focus in renovating current prisons, particularly to install new locks and control system, but Oliver says Georgia must first empty out some current prisons beds so crews can work unimpeded. The goal of this project is to do half a facility and actually do half of the building at a time, Oliver said. What's taking so long right now is we can do only one building at a time. He wants to contract for 446 additional private prison beds, as well as buy 4 126-bed modular prison facilities. Some lawmakers questioned the $93 million purchase of the modular prison, suggesting the state should rent more private prison space instead. Oliver also proposed a $50 million plan to combat cell phone inside prison and drone dropping drugs, phones, and other contraband from the outside. So this one is Governor Kemp unveils recommendations from the system-wide correction system assessment. Governor Brian B. Kemp, in conjunction with the Georgia Department of Corrections, today announced historic budget infusion recommendation for the state prison system following an in-depth independent system-wide assessment of the Georgia correctional system. Totaling more than $372 million in additional investments across the amendment fiscal year 2025 and fiscal year 2026 budget. These recommendations mark the latest measure to improve public safety for all Georgians following a multi-year effort to crack down on crime, take violent offenders off the streets, provide further support and training for state and local law enforcement. The recommendation presented today by GDC Commissioner Tyrone Oliver at a joint meeting of the House and Senate Appropriation Committee addresses significant near-term challenges like employment, vaccines, or vacancies for security and non-security staff, and aligning faculty infrastructure with offender security needs. Prisons are for punishment and rehabilitation, not TikTok. We must block cell signal to our prisons and employees, inmates, and public safety, said Senate Appropriation. Notable budgets and non-budget recommendations include it, but not limited to, enhancing the staffing levels, provide a 4% salary increase for all correctional officers staff, bringing the pay with neighboring states. Increase funds for an 8% salary increase for behavioral health counselors positions to align with statewide average to improve recruitment and retention of those positions. Increase fund for a 4% salary increase for education, chaplains, food services, and maintenance positions to align with statewide average to improve recruitment and retention of these positions. Increase correctional and close security officer position by 330 positions to improve staff to offender ratio. Invest $40 million for planning and design purpose for a new prison facility. Increase funds to add 446 private prison beds to the existing contract. Fund site work and construction of 4 126-bed modular correctional units to facilitate offender population movement necessary for capital and security improvements. Develop statewide targeted marketing initiatives to recruit and onboard new correctional officers. Develop and implement updated training curriculum for correctional officers. Emergency repairs and infrastructure improvements. Increase funds for emergency repairs and facility maintenance support to bring existing bed online and improve population management. Fund additional facility maintenance personnel and regional support staff to address critical facility maintenance needs. Fund a 5-person Tiger team to support ongoing efforts to address repairs needed on facility locks, locking controls, and security electronics statewide. The GDC will continue in its commitment to working alongside the Guidehouse team as they complete their assessment and provide implementation support. So they're just wanting to get more money, and this part here, prisons are for punishment and rehabilitation. No, your punishment is being sent to prison. You're not supposed to be punished more unless you break a DOC rule. So, Governor, go suck a dick. Okay, Leah. So, any
gotta act professional
questions or
here.
anything? Huh?
Okay.
What?
Welcome, Nikki, and your loved one just left Dooley. Well, welcome him home.
Yeah. If he wants to speak about Dooley, I'm more than willing to host him to talk. That's if he's
Yes, we are.
if he's able, because some parole officers do not like their parolees to speaking about corrections. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes and the subscribers on on YouTube. So if anyone has any questions about what we went over or anything that we could possibly answer for you guys, we are more than willing to try.
Steven, let's tell them about what we found out recently.
Oh, the other one. Where did I put that one? I'm going to stop sharing screen for a second. The E1 thingy?
Welcome, Buzz 1793. Oh, excuse me. So what's going down there at Dooley? Well, Ronald, basically the warden is lying.
Okay, so Leah just received a...
I wanted to...
Go ahead, Leah.
Go ahead.
So Leah was sent some information about that somebody let E1 or G1 off a lockdown, and he had clamps on the doors. This was just past Monday, a fire hazard, and he also forgot to feed them on Saturday. That's what officers told other inmates. And then we were also sent this event in E1, September 2024. Negligence and violence, the Bloods' control of Dooley State Prison, and the tragic murder of Zari Davis. Ziari? The following is a detailed account
Ziari. I think that's it.
Account of escalating violence and lawlessness with dorm E1 at Dooley State Prison, fueled by the unchecked activities of the Bloods gang. Despite numerous warnings, documented incidents, and pleas for interventions, the prison administration has consistently failed to address the growing threat posed by key gang members. The murder of Ziari Davis, also known as Blue, on September 26, 2024, was the tragic accumulation of these failures. The statement provides a comprehensive look at the event leading up to Blue's murder, revealing how negligence and inaction by prison officials created an environment where violence thrilled unchecked. On August 3rd, 2024, a member of the Blood Gang in Dorm E1 assaulted another inmate, breaking his jaw. This attack was completely unprovoked. I'm just going to say Dotson, also known as Gunplay, a Blood, was drunk and took a disliking to the victim, Chili. This incident was reported to the warden, who arrived on Sunday, shouting at everyone and demanding to know what sent Chili to the hospital. Although cameras could have easily identified the attacker, Gunplay eventually confessed to the assault. Despite this, the warden took no serious action. Gunplay wasn't removed from the dorm, didn't receive a disciplinary report, nor was he charged for battery. Furthermore, the incident was reported to Regional Director White's office, but nothing was ever done. Gunplay was allowed to remain in the dorm, emboldened by the lack of accountability. Leah,
Hey, look,
I
Steven.
see it. That was my... Wow, I'm sorry to hear. This inaction also, or has allowed Gunplay and other Bloods to feel untouchable, leading to increased violence and lawlessness within the dorm. Gunplay, known for becoming violent whenever he drinks, is responsible for multiple stabbings in the past. He has stabbed at least 2 people on separate occasions, both of whom had to be hospitalized. Those stabbings took place on the walk and in another building. If the warden had taken appropriate actions against gunplay after the attack on Chile, Ziari Davis, also known as Blue, would likely still be alive. On Tuesday, September 17th, at approximately 5:15 p.m., a civilian inmate named Rax was savagely beaten by a group of Bloods, including Champ, Keto Room 215, Alvin High, Man Room 121, Torozi Room 101, and Mastermind Room 120. The beating, which lasted at least 15 minutes, involved the use of brooms and mop sticks to strike Rax's ankles, legs, and body. The reason for this attack was that Rax had mishandled some money tied to their scam operation. An officer stationed outside the dorm heard Rax scream and called for help. The officers eventually entered and removed Rax from the dorm. Cameras could have confirmed exactly who had entered the mop closet, and the evidence of the attack was readily available. Yet, nothing was done. This wasn't the first time something like this had happened, as every Blood in the dorm has been involved in torturing and beating inmates in the past. Despite escalating reports of violence, the administration did nothing. On Wednesday, September 25th, just a day before Blue was murdered, numerous phone calls were made to Deputy Warden Hudson and Captain Nicholson, warning them about the imminent violence in E1. Those making the calls expressed serious concerns that the Bloods were out of control and that at least 1 or 2 members of the gang needed to be removed from the dorm immediately to prevent violence. Once again, nothing was done, and the warnings were ignored. On September 20...
Another thing of neglect and part on Gordon Sampson's BS.
On September 23rd, just days before Blue's murder, an email was sent to the commissioner's office warning of violent and dangerous activities carried out by 2 Blood Gang members, Decoto Champ and Marcus Taylor. The email outlined their violent behavior, including extortion at knife point and severe beatings of inmates, and called for their immediate transfer to a higher security facility. However, no action was taken in response to this urgent plea. The fatal incident that led to Blue's death began at approximately 9:30 p.m. on Thursday, September 26, 2024. According to witnesses, Gunplay and Blue got into an argument that escalated violently. Gunplay stabbed Blue while they were on the top range of the dorm. Blue, bleeding from his chest, stumbled down the shower side steps, trying to yell for help. Meanwhile, Gunplay circled around the dorm from behind, whittling a large butcher knife, as if he intended to attack Blue again. One inmate, using a contraband cell phone, called the prison administration and reported the stabbing, telling them they needed to hurry or Blue was going to die. The prison doesn't have emergency or panic buttons, so this was the only way to alert the staff. Despite the urgent call, it still took officers 15 minutes to arrive. It is supposed to be standard for the officers to be posted in each building, but none were present that night, as if often the case. It took another 30 minutes for the first responders to arrive. In the meantime, 2 inmates worked desperately to keep Blue alive, applying pressure to his stab wound, one in front and one in the back. However, their efforts were in vain, as Blue succumbed to his injuries before medical help could reach him. If you are wanting this, send me an email. It's running across the ticker, and I can email it to you.
We're letting her up.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you send her the link?
I sent her the link.
Okay. The scene was chaotic. A light-skinned, mixed-race blood with a dagger tattoo on the left cheek and 135 tattooed behind his right ear, identified as inmate from room 114, was seen near Blue. Armed with a knife, Officer Lockhart ordered him to return to his cell, but the inmate began mouthing off, shouting that he ain't no bitch. When officers attempted to restrain him, Dakota Champ pushed through them and pulled the inmate away from the altercation. Shockingly, no disciplinary action was taken against Champ. Despite his interference, witnesses say the same inmate has been running around with a towel wrapped around his neck, holding a knife, seemingly prepared to stab Blue again. The response from the prison staff was disorganized and ineffective. Several of the Bloods were allowed to leave the dorm, with one believed to have disposed of Gunplay's knife near or behind E or D building. Two of the Bloods seen cleaning and destroying evidence, wiping away the blood, and removing Gunplay's clothing were Champ and Marcus Taylor. Following the murder, their room was searched, and authorities discovered a pillowcase full of weapons, including a handmade knife and billy clubs. Gunplay and Rock were known to be roommates, which only intensified their partnership in the escalating violence within the dorm. Despite Gunplay and being charged with Blue's murder and removed from the dorm, other Bloods who were even more dangerous remain. Champ, known as Keto, continued to lead the gang, while Marcus Taylor, known as Rock, serves as the enforcer. Rock, who stands at 6'6" and weighs over 300 pounds, regularly uses methamphetamines, which makes him even more dangerous. On the night of Blue's murder, Rock had reportedly been high and awake for several days. The Bloods have been allowed to rule the dorm through fear and violence for several months. Even since Rock was moved into the dorm, the administration repeated failures to act have only worsened the situation. Had any of these incidents, especially Gunplay's assault on Chile on August 3rd, been handled correctly, or if the actions had been taken after the repeated warnings about imminent violence on September 25th, the murder of Blue might have been preventable or prevented. Where'd you send her the link at? Yes, a lot of neglect.
She's texting me.
She's texting me.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if this link works. She said it wasn't letting her at first.
You just have to send her the same one I sent you.
I did.
Okay.
Well, another thing is, there's another lady online. She's actually lost her brother in October.
Anybody have any questions?
Okay, so another lady lost her brother in October, and Warren Sampson did not just called her on December 19th.
She says she's not ready to go live right now.
That's another. Yeah, that's what she said.
Well, whenever you
we'll
like to
talk to
go
her when
live,
she gets
Nikki,
on.
just send a message and we can set something up. My brother just passed November 18th, 2024 at Dooley. My brother hung himself and took 20 minutes for inmates, about 20 minutes to get anyone's attention. Medical never showed up. This place is sick. So yeah, that happens in...
Holly.
Goodness.
I'm sorry.
That happens in a lot of prisons, that it takes so long for medical to show. And then when they show, it's like, do they really want to revive you? Is another thing that they don't want to do, even though they're called to do that. That's their job to do, and yeah, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
We had one here not long ago, and it's a guy that I
Very
knew
ridiculous.
while I was reincarcerated. No, when I was incarcerated, that committed suicide in the locker room where nobody goes normally, and it took them a while to find him, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. And then if you have,
And then, would you like to?
Go ahead, Leah.
Go ahead. Both pairs. I'm sorry. I'm dealing with a teenager right now. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, so a lot of the suicides could be, yes, this is live, Jack. Welcome in. Um, a lot of it can do with mental health, and DOC does not have the best mental health care to provide to the AICs, and and if that's the reason why these people are committing is due to mental health, then the public needs to push that DOC needs to offer them more treatment for their mental health. They even brought him back to the scene to take pictures, I guess, for evidence. They brought who back to the scene? Are you saying that they took your brother from the scene and then brought him back and took pictures? Biker Boy, would you like to come up?
I'm sorry. I was dealing with things.
You're good. Okay, I'll drop the link in the chat and you can just click it.
And this happened this year?
Yeah, well, November of 24.
Yeah, it
So,
just happened.
Biker Boy, just click that link and it should bring you up. Just make sure when you come up that you have YouTube mute it, because if not, we'll have feedback. When my brother, me. Yeah, it's ridiculous how hard you have to call and pressure them to give them the treatment that is deserved.
You mean let them in
So
a
you
little
just
secret?
hold on just one second. So you just click that link that I put into the chat, and it will bring you onto Restreams, and you just put in a random name, and then I'll let you in the box. Leah, you gotta mute yourself when you play the other one.
I'm not playing with them.
Hi, Karen.
Hey,
Are you Biker Boy?
I am. It's under my husband, but it's for my brother.
Okay, well, I was just making sure that that's who we were bringing up.
Yes.
Okay.
So he passed away November 18th, and I actually have another person in there by relation. I don't want to say any names just because he's still in there.
You're good. No names are
Um,
needed.
so he's actually the one that found him and let me know exactly what happened. Um, He told me that they took 20 minutes to get there. When they got there, they drugged my brother and put him in a wheelchair. He still had a pulse. Medical never showed up. They wheeled him away. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
And then I guess they have brought him back to the scene and like put everything back how it was and took pictures. Uh, Um, and like I said, it's a reliable source, like marriage, like relations. So, um, he actually still has the belt that he did it with. Um, my other sister, when I like, they didn't like take any of his stuff from the scene or anything that he hung himself with or anything. The warden called me at 1 o'clock in the morning on an unknown caller, and he was just like, "I was just calling to let you know your brother passed away." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I'll call you tomorrow with more details," and like hung up the phone. So I
Wow.
continued to call back. I was getting the runaround, was on hold for 20 minutes at a time. I still to this day have never spoke to him. Um,
You haven't
he just,
spoken to the warden since the incident?
yes, he literally just said, "You're on his emergency contact." He passed away. He didn't tell me how. The only reason why I know anything I know is because of my relation to the person in there that found him. That's the only reason why I know and I have any kind of closure as to what happened to my brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nobody else from Dooley or the GDC has contacted you after your brother's passing?
No, sir. I got
Did you?
a call from the
Break my
coroner's
heart.
office, but that was it. But nobody from the actual prison has given me no information about him. Just that he passed away.
So, so did they do like a toxicology report to see if there was anything in his system before he
So pretty much when he passed away, the coroners contact me and they were telling us, you guys got to hurry up and find a funeral home. We're going to do an autopsy on him. They told me it would take about 6 months to get that back. But, and then they were pretty much, I talked to coroners because obviously this is crazy. We didn't expect anything. And the cheapest place in the area we found to even cremate him was $2,000. So they pretty much just told us like, if you don't get him somewhere to go, like he's gonna go to the unclaimed in the graveyard, and that's it. Like they were very nonchalant. They didn't care. It was what it was. That's literally all I got from them.
jeez. And
Yeah.
see, that's the thing that's not right is that you have a loved one or a friend or whatever incarcerated. They're supposed to be cared for to the best of their ability. And when they pass, they should communicate with you of what was going on, like say, did he have a mental health issue? Was he being bullied or, picked on by other inmates or, things like that.
My brother does have a very long history of mental health, and suicidal was one of those. He's dealt with that for a long time. So, and he was supposed to be medicated for it. So there was a lot of neglect on many parts.
Yeah. So would this consider as it be like an unlawful death and be able to go after GDC, or
So I actually reached out to an attorney, and he literally told me, good luck getting the wardens to speak and finding somebody that's going to fight them. He literally told me that.
yeah, it's hard. It's usually harder to go against a DOC. So I'm a part of a group called Justice for Eddie Dungan, who was a 36-year-old man that was put into a dry cell and died in that dry cell. He was in there over DOC policy of 78 hours. His sister is still in litigations with Oregon DOC, and he passed away. Tomorrow will make 2 years,
Mm,
and she's still fighting for justice for her brother.
yeah.
So it
I just
is.
have to be careful with my situation because, like I said, I do have an eyewitness about things that went on, but I
Uh-huh.
can't risk them at the same time.
Yeah. If you
I'll
don't
have to
mind me
just be very
asking, how
careful
long? Yeah. So how long does your eyewitness have left? If you don't mind me asking,
until next November
November 25 or 26.
20. Well, this year. Sorry.
Okay. So I wonder how long you can wait to try and go against the Department of Corrections for the death of your brother.
That I have
You
no
have
idea.
2 years
2 years.
when the incident happened.
Or,
You have to put them on notice.
Okay.
So, Mr. Sampson and GDC and everybody involved at Dooley is put on notice already for their brother's death. So they have to come back with a countersuit or tell my attorney what they plan on doing if they want to go to trial or not.
Karen, are you still there?
yes, I am.
So
Okay.
I
So
was just
Leah's
listening.
okay. So Leah's saying
this happened November, right?
November 18th.
Go ahead, Stephen. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Leah. You were explaining the situation because I don't know the legality for Georgia, and Leah does. So
Georgia. Yeah, I just know it because we have a suit against them. I have a question. Did this particular accident happen when he was in segregation, or did he see himself in the shower? This is the note from the side.
here it's on the screen. So Karen, they're asking if this particular incident did it happen while he was in segregation, when, or did it happen in the shower?
No, like he was in his room and he did it on the bunk bed.
So he was in a regular unit.
Yeah.
Okay. So Clay, it happened in November of 2024.
And when you do call Dooley, you have to star 67 your number because it's gonna block your number and they're gonna transfer you right away.
I was in Dooley for 10 years until
I'm very sorry for your loss, Karen.
So Clay is saying that he was in Dooley for 10 years until recently.
Glad you're out, man. Glad you're out.
Yes. Karen, is there anything else you would like to share between YouTube and TikTok about what's going on within the system or anything?
Um, I did ask the other person that seen it, like, I'm like, do they ever come check on you guys? Do y'all have like protocol or anything like that? He's like, no, we go hours and hours without nothing, like, and that could prevent things like that from happening.
Yeah.
But
In my opinion, they should offer, like, say that. So we had a staff member when I was incarcerated that a lot of us were close to because he was he worked out in the physical plant. So a lot of the physical plant AICs were close to him. He was a nice guy. He was killed in a car accident, and they told us, well, if you feel like you're grieving this situation, you can reach out to the counselors or reach out to religious services and be able to have somebody to talk to about what's going on. So I think that should also be the case with the AICs. Hey, I know Bob down the tier, he passed away from blah blah blah, and I'm having a hard time dealing with it. They should offer them something to cope with their emotions.
absolutely.
So Clay is asking, was he in G2 and is he a Hispanic?
Yes.
And if there's anything that comes in that you don't want to answer, you do not have to.
I got you.
We don't pressure anyone to answer any questions. Definitely if it could hinder you or said
Tickle you.
person.
Yeah. And definitely with my situation, I have to be very careful because, like I said, I still have another loved one in there.
Yeah.
So,
So were you here from the beginning of the live, or did you just come in here like
I was
before?
trying to get it like set up when you guys were starting, but I've been here for most of it.
Okay, so you heard about them wanting to build the new prisons and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
which is the most dumbest thing ever.
Right, because you can't have the healthy ones you got now
Yeah, you
that are
can't.
not so healthy.
Yeah, you can't control the prison that you have, but yet you want to build more.
Yeah, and my mom's been to prison as well in Tennessee, and she's like, this doesn't like it. You hear stuff like this, but it's nothing like what's going on in Georgia right now. She's
Yeah.
like, there's no way this was happening whenever I was in prison.
Clay, we're not going to give out names on live due to the fact that she currently has somebody else that's incarcerated. So it's not safe due to the fact that DOC can see this as a public forum. If you want, I don't know. I don't want to cause any hinders on her and her loved one that's currently incarcerated.
Well, he's only asking because this is for the same person.
Well, I know, but we don't want to give out names on
Yeah.
live.
Oh. So Clay would have known cert. Wait, I have a question for you. Do you remember seeing a cert member like this? Hold on one second.
Karen, are you willing to answer if his nickname is something?
Yeah, because I mean it's on the Georgia Exposed. As long as I'm not giving out information about the other person that's in there.
Okay, so he wants to know if his nickname was Cartoon.
Yes.
Okay, so Clay, the answer is yes. Welcome in everyone on TikTok. If you can, please tap the screen and share the live. The more people we get to see this, the better. And also this will be recorded onto YouTube or posted on YouTube after the live is over, so you guys can share it out off of there as well.
Do you remember a certain member looking like this, Clay?
So Karen, Clay is saying that he knows your brother.
Okay. He did know quite a few people in there, I'm sure. He was a very social person.
Leah, is that the guy off of the document?
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many deaths within DOC nationwide. It's ridiculous. I did a story last year out of Alabama, and that was horrendous of organ harvesting, which is a whole nother level.
It's crazy the amount of people that are just passing away. And, the people that just go in there for things that, they just made a mistake and they're looking forward to coming back home
Yeah.
and they don't get to because of the lack of everything around them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
it's
my brother had like 2 years left.
jeez.
Yeah.
It has 6 months left. You can put that warning up there, disclaimer, and
For what?
Chad's injury. You want to show?
Oh, I can.
Like I say, I know what happened with that. It's straightforward with the family.
So we have pictures of Chad's injuries. If you guys, it is a warning. It is very graphic. So if you don't want to see it, Clay, I will answer. I'll ask your question to Karen in just a second after I show this. I'll ask, and then we'll go from there. So these images are of injuries that Chad sustained from the perpetrator that unalived him. So this here is Chad's neck while he's in the hospital. So a form of strangulation. This one here is above his eye, which is stitched closed. And then this here is the top of his head with 3 staples. 1, 2, and 3. So, it wasn't like just some little beating. He was, how long was he in the hospital, Leah? And
I'm so sorry I had to let Brennan in the front door. What'd you say?
how long was Chad in the hospital before he passed?
4 months.
So, yeah, yeah. Karen, Clay wants to know if he can say what he know that happened without being disrespectful to the family.
He can inbox me on Facebook.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, you can give him your Facebook.
It's just under Karen Cochran. I mean, I had a lot of stuff told to me. And like I said, it is from a relative. But I mean, if there's other things, I would love to know.
Clay, I usually go live on TikTok every night, talk about different things within DOC. Tonight was just brought up. This was just thrown together to go. But sometimes I do the live stream between TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So All I can say is you can follow both platforms and turn your notifications on, and when I'm on, you're more than able to come in. But I will say this: we will not talk about anything that involves Karen's relatives if she is not here. Due to the fact I do not put out anyone's information if said person is not in the chat or in the live itself. He's asking what was the last name again, Karen?
My name is Cochran. COCHRAN.
Can you spell that one more time and I'll put it into the chat?
It's COCHRAN.
HRAN. Okay. I usually go live at 8 o'clock Pacific time normally. We did this one early so that the people that are in Georgia that have something to say could come on and say it if they wanted to. Is the only reason why it's so early. Thank you for everything you guys are. You're welcome, Nikki. If you ever need anything, just reach out and we can set something up as well. User, if you go to AIC's Advocate on YouTube, you can watch the whole thing from the beginning. So it's all on YouTube. Yeah, Clay, you're good. It's just that I don't want to talk about other situations. I can talk about the one that I'm in because I know about it. But like with Karen, I don't know nothing about what's going on, if she has anything, planned for the future or anything like that. So that's why I said I wouldn't talk about it unless she is within the group to talk.
So we're gonna go over here to TikTok and answer some questions, okay? We've been missing a lot, Stephen.
Is there? No, there's not many. Oh, Tyler Dees. Are you
He
still
says
in here,
freedom.
Tyler?
Freedom is a must. Freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, freedom is a must is
And then user 581 blah blah blah.
I just answered that one and told him that he go to YouTube. Freedom is a must is working on or has done videos and protest on the Robert Brooks in New York.
Miss Nikki, I will contact you with my attorney's information.
Did not mean to.
Honestly, I think we have a civil suit against Julie. I'm sorry, not a civil state. What do we have? Like a class action. I'm sorry.
This is great. Thank God.
I think that's what my attorney's trying to get
Clay, thank you. Does anybody on TikTok
Clay,
have any questions?
Sorry, go ahead.
I think we have a delay between me and you, Leah.
I know, right?
Yeah. Anyways, if anybody has any questions on TikTok, please drop them in the chat. Oh, Karen fell. And we'll answer them as best as we can. What were you gonna say, Leah?
Show Clay the same guy and see if Clay already knows that guy.
The which one?
The sound murder.
Oh, the alleged murderer?
Oh yeah, large, whatever we want to call it. The rat that did it.
Yeah. So this here, Clay, you may know him. He's the alleged murderer. Oh. I'm still here, lost sound, so had to back out of everything and come back. Okay, if you want to come back up, you can. You can go back to that same link I sent in the chat, or I can repost it again.
I'm gonna step away for a second, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Please, Mr. Clay, if you know that guy, let me know.
Welcome in everybody on TikTok and YouTube. So, which one, Nikki? The last one that I read? Welcome back, Karen. Oh, what did I just do? So yeah, that was the last one I read. If you send me an email to aicadvocate@gmail.com, I will send it over to you. Can you hear me, Karen?
Yes.
Okay, because my screen, my little box went all white. I was like, what in the world just happened?
Yeah, I lost all sound, so I was like, I had to go start everything over.
Oh goodness gracious. Sometimes this restream works perfectly fine, and then other times like New Year's Eve we try to go live and do, stream the ball dropping and stuff and just hang out with other prison people, and it just kept kicking everybody out of the live, and it's like, what in the world? So I think there were just too many people that night using this platform to go live.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Clay has not answered, so I don't know if he's still in here or not. It says there's 7 people watching on YouTube and 9 people watching.
I'm saying hi to my brother
TikTok.
and my other brother. Hi, other brother.
Other brother, who's that? Oops, somebody said something bad on TikTok.
Oh.
Welcome in everybody on TikTok and YouTube. Karen, do you have anything else you want to share? Maybe like your favorite remembrance of your brother or something, or maybe a good experience that he did have. Some people do have a good experience while incarcerated, not many.
I would like to give some advice to people that do have loved ones in there.
Okay.
Um, it does get busy out here on the outside, and just make sure you love the ones that are locked up a little extra. Because time does slip by quick,
Mm-hmm.
and dealing with this suicidal thing hits a little different. I think I would be angry either way. Um, but I kind of just know my brother was tired. I've had so many stories that he's told me about what happens in there.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them I had to be like, I can't handle that because it sounded like complete torture.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a relief for me that he was free from hell in a way.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but
Well, some people get sick and tired of being where they're at, and if they definitely have a long sentence, they're gonna try and figure out what they can do to, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And just encourage them as much as you can, and just be there for them as much as you can. Even though, life is going on outside, they're just sitting there. And I've had many years with my brother locked up. So we've been through the ups and downs with the prison thing. So just really try to support those people in there because, as you see, it's not easy. And until I actually got into some of these groups after my brother passed away, it really didn't hit me as hard. He would obviously tell me stuff, but like now I'm seeing like it in black and white, like death after death and stabbings and just all this crazy stuff. Because when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's nothing, But when you're seeing it constantly, you're like, wow, this is actually happening
Mm-hmm.
to so many people, and you don't realize it.
Yep. And see, that's what happens with a lot of people is they don't know exactly what's going on until it happens to them, and then there's an uproar about situations within the prison system. And in my opinion, more people need to be outraged because it's your tax dollars that are paying these people to take care of your loved one, your friend, your family, whoever it is. But they get away with so much bullshit. It's ridiculous.
Yes, it's definitely very well swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And it's sad because it's like that could be any of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could all make a mistake and end up in that situation, and we shouldn't have to die behind it.
Yep.
And it's crazy, but just like you said, a lot of people don't know, and they don't know the awareness of it. My brother used to talk about stuff, but like I said, when you're hearing it over the phone, you're just like, you're trying to accept it, but at the same time, you're like not want to deal with it because he's okay at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we make it another day, and then does hit whenever they do pass away.
Yep. Nikki, that is an amazing thing to do. Nikki says over on TikTok, I make cards and send them to incarcerated people and families. If anyone wants to send me addresses. So Nikki, the Justice for Eddie Dungan here, we just sent in 109 Christmas cards in December to random men and women between the 12 institutions. But Oregon does not allow greeting cards as of the 13th. There is some states that don't allow them at all. Some states allow them at certain times of the year. So you have to look and see. You might have to just write letters. For here, that's what we're gonna have to end up doing is putting it into like a newsletter type situation when we do our Christmas get-togethers. I'm not sure, Karen, if you know, do you know the rules on GDC and their mail policy?
Over the years, I have sent cards, and my brother sent me them, and we've sent pictures. But I've never had any issues, so I don't know each rule for each, but I have done both.
Okay, so Oregon just passed it. So it was supposed to take effect in December 1st. The mail policy was supposed to be updated. And they're like, oh, well, we got 600 responses and there wasn't supposed to be a date on it. So we're going to look at this and see if we can do anything different. So we can no longer send in greeting cards, anything on cardstock, colored envelopes. We can't send anything in colored envelopes. The envelope cannot have the security proof on it, so it has to be a plain white envelope that you can see through. No crowns, no markers, no color pencil, which color pencil is a new one. Crowns and markers has been many years that you weren't able to send anything with that because it was easy to lace with drugs. So there's this big old uproar here about that, and it's like, well, if you people would have spoke up during the public hearings, maybe something different would have happened. But there wasn't. There was there was like 60 people at the public hearing, and maybe 10 of us spoke out against the new mail policy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Clay, we're just chit-chatting it a little bit. The picture was the alleged perpetrator that murdered Leah's brother.
This is my brother's voice with my last voicemail. Listen. One last times I heard his voice.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's hurtful that so many lives have been lost in Dooley.
Mm-hmm.
Just Dooley alone.
Yes.
So, let's see. I have a list of names that came up on one of the Georgia sites, because not only am I in Oregon, I keep tracking other states, and I got a copy of their death records for November. So this is their whole record of deaths from November 1st to the 23rd.
I did see that. That was crazy.
Yeah. And oops, I think I seen the name. My bad. I should have looked at it first.
You're good.
Oh crap! I done that once before. Did you see my so you asked if we were still talking about Karen's family. Then you said something about in the picture, and I answered the Karen's family part that we were just pretty much we asked her some questions about what's something that she remembered of her brother or something that she wanted to put out to everybody in the YouTube TikTok world. And then in that picture, the last picture that I showed of this one, this is the alleged murderer that killed Leah's brother. So if you ask something else besides those last two,
Which I didn't know until 6 months down the road.
yeah, if you said something else besides those last two, then I didn't see it. It's not on my screen. And I don't know of YouTube filtering comments. I know TikTok does. So the link for YouTube is the same name as here on TikTok. I say my bio, but my bio link got changed when I tried to do a transfer of all my content.
You have a picture of my brother? A regular picture of him?
I don't have a regular picture of your brother. I just have the ones of the injuries.
Red Onion Prison. And what happened?
Aces?
Sorry, I was loading it up. But this is my Bubba.
What's up? What's up? Nothing. Dylan.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's pretty good. You get a lot of girls. Got a girl.
That was my father.
That was my father.
I gotta hide my face now, Steve. I'm sorry.
I gotta hide my face now, Steve. I'm sorry.
Hide it. My face is hidden. Your voice has a lot. Whose?
It's everybody's voice. It's Steven's. It's the
It's
program.
everybody's voice except Steven's. It's the program.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
very
very
echoey.
echoey.
Oh, goodness gracious. Probably because I don't pay for it, so they're going to give me the crappiest restream.
Version.
Yeah. It's too expensive to pay for it. Definitely when I don't use it all the time.
Do we have like a comparison on like other state prisons, like how many deaths they have compared to Georgia in general?
So it's kind of hard to get a comparison. Due to the fact that to get the records of the deaths, I have music playing in the background on here. I'll turn it off if that's what it is. It's just some cover up music from when we're not talking or just some background sound. So for here in Oregon, the only deaths that are like released, so all the deaths are released to the media, but the only ones that the media releases out to the general public are those that are high offenders. So it's kind of hard to get an adequate number. They did release numbers during like COVID, but to get like adequate numbers of like a day-to-day scenario is would cost money. So I did a FOIA request here in Oregon for the death records for suicide ones, and DOC wanted $245 to give me those records.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I do have a list. So a list from January 1st to May, like May 5th, I think, of here in Oregon of how many inmates died. Which was, where do I have that at? I have so much stuff. It's crazy. Oh, that wasn't supposed to open up there. So, January 1st, 21 till May 2nd of 24. Is it going to open up there? So this here is a list in Oregon of all that have passed away from January 1st, 2021 till May 2nd of 24. And there's 158 of them on here. So, let's see.
I was just wondering because I had researched it and I'm like, I wasn't getting too far.
Yeah,
And I was just like wondering like comparison because like, is it just a certain area or, you know, that kind of thing?
No, so it's that DOC really doesn't want to give the information out. Even though like here, DOC wants to say, or the director of DOC wants to say, I want to be more transparent with the general public. Well, you're not. If you were being more transparent, you wouldn't charge us hundreds of dollars to get records. You wouldn't charge the mainstream media hundreds of dollars to do a story. You wouldn't lie to the mainstream media when things are going on the inside and you're like, oh no, that's not happening. So like last year with the heat situation during winter last year, guys were calling their loved, people out here on the streets saying that the heat wasn't working, that there was ice on their windows. I reached out to the institution and I was told the heat's working. I don't know why they would tell you that. I'm like, well, I rather believe the AIC than I believe staff, because the heat could be working, the tier could be warm, but the cells are freezing because the windows are covered in ice. So then the mainstream media reaches out and DOC tells them that. So then the mainstream media doesn't run a story because DOC says it's not a thing.
Right.
So it's hard to get any information. I don't know what Georgia's law is on public records or the FOIA. I know Oregon took a piece of the FOIA and put it into their own as public records, and they charge you buku's loads of money.
That is crazy. See, and I'm just now learning about all this stuff because obviously I experienced this. And a lot of people, like I said, you don't know.
Correct. That's the thing, is you don't know until it happens to you. And there's many people that are like, oh, this isn't ever going to happen to me. And then it happens. And now what? You're in a fiasco trying to figure things out.
Yes. So then you're just at a point like, what do we do to get people to be aware of this?
So the only thing I can tell you to get people aware, plaster it all over social media. Plaster it on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X. Any platform that you have access to, plaster it out there so more people see what you see or what you've heard, or things like that. It's ridiculous because I can comment on DOC's Facebook page, Oregon's DOC's Facebook page, and they go back in and complain to guys that, oh, well, Steven did this, Steven did that. And it's like, grow a pair of fucking balls and come at me. Those men in there had nothing to do with what I posted on Facebook.
At all.
And I did an angry face on OCE, which is the Oregon Correctional Enterprise, which is part of the prison industrial complex, which makes money to put in their pocket, in the business pocket, not really the inmate's pocket, but the business. And I put an angry face on their posts for Christmas time because they paired up with the local news station to do like Toys for Tots or whatever. And I put an angry face because it's just exploiting more of the AICs for working for this company that is exploiting them to the general community. And I'm not for it. OCE needs to be shut down because they run DMV on the inside, which is DMV motor vehicles. So when you call DMV, you're not talking to somebody out here on the streets. You're talking to an AIC either at a prison in Salem or a prison in Wilsonville. And out here on the streets, a DMV worker makes $30-ish an hour. An AIC makes roughly, between the two pays, because they get DOC pay and then OCE pay. And they make roughly, depending on the point scale, maybe $2 a day to work a 9-to-5 job. When out here they make $30 an hour.
It's insane.
It is. And so they're exploiting this business practice to all these people on the streets. And then they go and do this toy for tot thing. And I put an angry face. They go into my buddies like, well, Steven's at it again, putting angry faces on our post. And so he calls me and says something. I'm like, I'm fucking tired of this bullshit. If they have an issue, come to me instead of taking it back to the inside. But they won't. They're too scared that I'll tell them off because I don't have a filter. I will tell them off and tell them to take it and shove it.
Right.
I worked for them for 4 years, and I was promoted to an operator of a machine. for the print shop, which prints everything for like the state of Oregon, business cards, and stuff like that, and different flyers for the state. I was appointed to the operator position of the big cutter. Well, they didn't want to give me operator points, which was 16 points a day, which, you know, at the time was the maximum points you could get. And they wouldn't pay me for it. So I said, fuck you. I'll go get just a regular job and just make 16 points a day instead of times two. And it was a job that I kind of liked. You know, I was doing stuff on the computer, keeping inventory of flammable equipment, and that was it. I didn't have to slave over these machines for when I was doing the certification program. I was working 7 till 5, and being a cert, usually you only work 7 to 3. But because I knew what I was doing on the machines, they said, no, you can stay after. And it's like, why? You don't give me nothing extra. But it's you know, it's all about that money for DOC in any state. Texas, they don't even pay their AICs in Texas. It's all free labor.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's hard to get any information from anything within DOC. I try to get like business records from OCE, and they said that they don't have to give them out. They fall under a different guideline and don't have to release it to the public.
Well, if Ford and Sampson does watch, you need to take care of your camp, sir. FYI.
Yeah. Take care of your fucking shit, bitch. Oh. I told you I have no filter. I gave a warning.
Your church stuff on
Oh yeah. Did you see that, Karen?
What is it?
This here says, "Dear God, why do you allow so much violence in our schools? Signed, a concerned student. Dear concerned student, I'm not allowed in schools. God." And look, Gregory Sampson has it on his Facebook.
Dumbass family. Facebook.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah, but he allows the fucking violence in his prison.
Yeah. The most evil.
Yeah. This is his LinkedIn account. If you want to look him up, this is his LinkedIn, but he hasn't been on. He doesn't have no post on it. Facebook was very slim.
Hide, like he's good at. Like I told the lady today, I said, you better call Fatty before he starts taking his lunch. Because he takes his lunch about 11 o'clock. Because Fatty don't stay around for long.
Okay, I'm trying to hide my profile picture because I don't want everybody in the world to see it. This is his Facebook.
Look at him.
This is all that's on his Facebook. He hasn't posted. This was posted August 13th, 22.
The bike's probably
And
his
look.
because of blood money.
Look, United Men Empower Brotherhood.
Everybody say hi to Brenda. Hello.
Hi, Brenda.
Hello.
Well, yeah, this is Back the Blue Blood, if you look.
And he's the warden where?
At Dooley.
I do.
See, he has a badge in this picture.
He just began his service at Dooley on July 1st.
July 2023, right?
Yep, July 2023. And my brother was injured July 3rd, 2023.
He wanted to come home.
Thank you. Okay. You're more than welcome to follow Steven's page, everybody.
Yeah. Follow. Oh shit.
I'll give everybody a minute to follow because I gotta get off here in a minute, even
Okay.
for a few minutes, and then I'll share your butt.
I need to make some dinner.
And then we'll probably be back on later, right, Steven?
Yeah, I'll probably go back on probably about 8ish my time, so or Pacific time.
It's not gonna be the echoey thing.
No, we're just gonna go live on TikTok. The YouTube is the same name as the TikTok, the AIC's Advocate. I need to put it back in my bio, so I can just say the links in the bio, because I have many links, but I tried to do an integration from my TikTok to this other platform, and it's not working, but it took away my bio. Karen, do you have TikTok?
Samson got his boss called on.
I do not have TikTok.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
Well, I was just wondering because I was gonna just let you know that we'll be going live on there later. I usually do this double when I have like some important stuff like documents to show or whatever, so that people can see what I'm talking about and not saying, "Oh, well, you're full of shit" type of situation.
Right.
So, I do have a Facebook page as well. It's under the same name. So Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube are all under the same handle. You're welcome.
I know my sister had made a TikTok about the inmates that had passed away in Georgia, and they literally took it down.
Who took it down? TikTok?
Yep.
Like
he just posted their pictures, like, these are the people that passed.
Well,
and they literally took it down.
That's some horseshit because I have a picture of Brandon Dotson, who was a AIC in Alabama that they harvest his organs, and my picture. If there's audio, hold on just a second. I don't know if this is gonna pop up audio, but sorry, I'm gonna get demonetized now, definitely. But I put up a video about Brandon Dotson, and my photo's still up of him. Photos of Eddie are still up on my TikTok as well. So I'm not for sure. Maybe
It said it went against community standards or something like that.
that's
Community
some
guidelines.
BS.
Yes. And it had no cussing in it or anything. It was just pretty much, these people died in prison. This is going on rapidly. Like, it's an issue. And they took it down.
Yeah, so this is mine. This is the one of Brandon Dotson. And it says justice for Brandon. He passed away in the hands of Alabama DOC. He was returned to his family with no heart. And then I have some other ones. I have one for Chad, but I don't have pictures of him on there. Just of the, an overview on Google Earth of the prison. I think I have another one of somebody else, but this one is the one with the most views. This one has like 14,000 views or something.
My gosh.
Yeah. And then I have, I talk about people murdering people, and then I get these nasty comments. So this one was also about Brandon, and it has images of, the ones that are accountable for what happened in the prison. And, she must have lost audio again.
Oh, Stephen, I got some things for you, buddy.
Oh, goodness.
This guy is still at Dooley, and he murdered Blue.
Well, Blue or Kurt, the other guy, is related to Nikki. Nikki's supposed to send me an email
Yes,
so I can
but
send her
I
that
sent you.
document. You sent where? To Messenger? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wrong direction. So who's that? Oh, did you just look him up?
I was sent. It was sent from me. Somebody.
Gotcha. Oh, Karen's in the waiting room. I didn't hear it ding. Usually it dings when somebody's in the waiting room, and I was like, oh, there's nothing there.
This is Pew Pew Play.
Are you want me to show that?
Like, uh-huh.
Let's see. Can I open image in a tab? Go ahead, Leah. Explain who this man is.
So this is the guy that killed Mr. Davis. And Nikki's brother, I believe, right?
No. Maybe. One of them.
Or
I don't remember. I read so much. But one of the people in the last...
But this is...
Go ahead, Leah.
Go ahead.
But anyways,
No,
this...
go ahead, Stephen.
Okay, I'm going. This guy is one of the murderers from the last document I read. Let's see. We have 9 million pages open on this computer. This article. So yeah.
He's still at Dooley, though.
I thought this said that he was transferred out.
Yeah, just the sandwich, right?
No, he's still at Dooley.
Yeah. Major offense, aggravated assault.
So Samson still hasn't moved him.
Yeah, because over here it says that he was moved, I thought. Corneta, also known as Gunplay, was drunk and took... Yeah, so he is the one that killed Chile, which is Nikki's brother. But I swore in this document it said that he got transferred to another prison.
Nope, he's still there.
Oh, Dooley.
He's in the hole.
Oh. Well, that's a good place. He can't hurt nobody in there. Besides an officer, if he's uncuffed.
Well, is he in the hole by himself? That's the problem. Now, they do put 2 people in the hole.
So, it depends. So, like here, we have some single cells. So, we have one side of the tier that's single cells, and then the rest, the other side is double, and the top is double. No, wrong. One single... No, I think there's 3 singles and a double in our solitary confinement. Because I don't think I had a cellie when I went upstairs.
They dropped the murder charge on him.
Of course they did.
They said it was self-defense.
Well, now I really want to talk to Nikki, see what she knows.
Self-defense my butt.
Oh, I'm showing his SID number and everybody...
He stabbed Blue.
Yeah, that's what it said. With a big, like, butcher knife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing his SID number. Now everybody's going to send him a letter. My luck. Where is... So, yeah.
Oh, he stabbed him in the heart.
Oh. Well, now. Ridiculous. Okay, Karen, we're going to wrap this up. Is there anything else you would like to put out? Anything at all?
Not that I can think of at the
Okay.
moment.
Okay. Well, if there's ever anything you want to put out or, say or anything, just reach out. And we can do another one like this. Or if TikTok doesn't go away, if you end up making one, we can go live on there. But sometimes it's easier on here because TikTok has like this thing that you're supposed to have so many followers to go live, but now I guess TikTok doesn't give a rat's because I have a friend that doesn't have the amount that you should have to go live and he can go. So who knows? But yeah, just reach out if you have something that you want to, go on live about, or if you just want to talk. My email's the AIC's advocate at gmail.com, or, find one of the other socials that if you have it, and more than willing to be an ear.
I do want to say thank you for letting me talk and keep doing what y'all do. Y'all are awesome. And I hope one day everybody gets some kind of justice from this.
Yes, agreed. And thank you for coming up and sharing your story.
Yes, totally agree. Thank you for sharing.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's hard for people to put into words about what happened to a loved one. I still get a little chill bumps and stuff hearing about other people's stories because it's so
Heart-wrenching.
yeah. And even though I don't know the person, when you started talking, I got chills. And it's just like this thing in my body that is like trying to show everybody compassion, because not everybody goes to prison for a life sentence that they're going to end up passing in there anyways. It's they need to just take better care of those in their care. Like I've said, the punishment is going to prison. It's not to be killed while incarcerated.
Or treated like nothing.
Correct. So I'm going to end this here. The heck was funny, Leah?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna start.
Somebody
I'm gonna start
on
muting you.
Facebook. On Facebook said fry his ass.
Oh Jesus. Leah, any last words for this live?
Just remember to have a POA in play.
Do you want to say
Which
what
is a
that's?
power attorney.
There you go.
Because that will help you if your inmate does end up in the hospital. And make sure you're next to kin. And if you need any legal advice that I've weaseled my way through this past almost 2 years, I just reach out to me. They have no voice, and I've been commenting. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Yes. So please.
And Warden Sampson, I
Yeah.
got something to say.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me put his picture up there, and you can say it to him. Say it to his face. Here you go. Here's his face. Say it to him.
Okay.
Fuck
You.
I love it.
You're going down for all the murders.
All right. Thank you guys on YouTube and Facebook YouTube and TikTok. Thank you all for coming in. I will probably be going live again around 8 Pacific time, maybe a little bit after. But thank you all for coming in, tapping the screen, liking the live. It's very much appreciated. Karen, thank you again for coming up. If there's ever anything that you would like to talk about, or you just need an ear from somebody, you can always reach out. More than willing to put out information or anything that you have. So I really do appreciate you coming up and sharing what you have to say.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So I'm going to end this here, and I will talk to you all later. Have a good night.
Y'all too.
I think we had another Karen, because Karen over in TikTok said you're welcome. All right, bye guys.